Welcome to This Week in MCSR, the show where we talk about what happened this week in the Minecraft speedrunning community. From the ups, the downs, the biggest fails, the fastest times, even the drama. As always, I'm your host, Mystic X Lol, and it's time to get into This Week in MCSR. This week we saw plenty of fast times from a variety of top runners, but we thought one stood out far and above the rest. This run is from bigbigmongey and doogile. Let's take a look. Welcome to MCSR Ranked with golf commentary. I'm your host Mystic, joined by my co-host Brett.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure.
We see two very skilled runners this evening. On this this afternoon, sorry. We have bigbigmongey and doogile. Doogile has a slight elo advantage, as well as having won 5 out of the last 9 matches. So we'll see if that's any kind of indicator as to how this match will go.
These two runners are very skilled in their own caliber. As we know, doogile is very mechanical, makes some good decisions overall. And Mongey is a pretty brilliant player himself as well, but maybe does not quite have that much mechanical skill in relationship to doogile.
Both players in the Bastion choosing to do different routes. Mongey doing top down with the manhunt coming from doogile.
Uh-oh. Doogile looks like he might be in trouble here.
Both runners handling it relatively well. Better than most.
It's a good thing to point out now that doogile got a lot of pigs from doing a completely different route than Mongey did, which could matter in the future to the amount of time they spent in the Bastion.
Mongey did get... I think Mongey got more obsidian from the top, though. I don't know if doogile will end up having to go up or not. Let's see if we can see his inventory.
I have a good feeling that doogile will want to go up top regardless, as it might be easier to pro outside of the Bastion. I'm
True.
not too sure if we have seen... Yeah, as we can see right here, doogile is currently pulling up his pie chart, trying to look for this fortress. And we do see that it is buried underneath here, so he probably will go up top to check those chests regardless.
Ooh.
And maybe get some obsidian.
But he does look like he did just get the 20 obby from the trades.
It's wonderful.
And doogile's already pyrade, so he does know which direction to go. He's just looking for the terrain. Now we do see a pyrade from Mongey.
Clear lead for one runner here, but then again, Mongey did have a better pearl out, but I believe they're pretty close to the same position here.
Mongey ends up entering the fort first. We see some impressive bridging from doogile.
And we see a spawner on Mongey's side of the screen. And doogile is now entering the good part of the fortress. I'm sorry. He does find the same spawner as Mongey just did, and they're going to be maybe not quite neck and neck, but they are very close to each other. This should be a thriller.
Mongey getting off the blaze bed first. And we're going to go ahead and get a pre-craft from doogile.
A lot of space here opened up for Mongey compared to doogile, which might help him out with spawns, although doogile does clear it out now. There's a lot of fire to take out, and we can see a little bit of the fortress to the side of this spawner. And depending on how they might approach this blaze bed and what they might want to break, it might make them a little bit more difficult to get these spawns out.
I believe
it looks like they'll be fine.
I believe we did see a single blaze bed from both runners, so that may have been a misplay. They both do have plenty of explosives.
Looking at dougile's inventory now, he has 17 pearls, which is enough. Although he might have to be very careful about how much he pearls in this match, because even though he does have a lot of food, he might want to save some for a 0.
We have Mongey entering back into the overworld for a eye measurement, getting the 100% for 1,070 blocks away.
Both of these runners should have a very standard approach here.
Let's see if we get the same stronghold from both runners. And we do.
We definitely should.
They are at the same spawner after all.
Both runners now exiting, trying to find their way to the coordinates. And it looks like Mongey's a little stuck here as trees are kind of blocking his area. He sees like 4 blazes here. That'd have been great when he was pearling to the fortress to begin with. doogile, impressive bridging out in the portal build as well. That is why he is one of the best.
Looks like the mechanics will give doogile a slight advantage here. He's just so quick.
Most definitely.
And a misplace from Mongey as doogile is entering the end. Or entering the portal, rather.
That is not going to help him out.
Now entering the end.
Almost making a obsidian house.
And it's a pretty standard 0.
Should be able to make 95 here. Or 99 if he wants to. And he does.
Really pushes it and has an extra rotation.
Very well done here from doogile. Gets the double battle.
Very impressive.
Can't quite find it. And then it's over for both these runners. As doogile has won this matchup.
Yes, that would be the victory for doogile at 636. Alright, thank you Brett and myself for that excellent commentary. And that'll bring us straight into our second segment of today's episode, and that is Ranked Rumors. So this segment may not be in every episode, but it definitely will be in this episode, because we have some hot gossip to talk about coming from Keenan Cardis. So Ash did a whole video on this, so I'm not going to go too in-depth here, but I will give you a brief synopsis if you are not so inclined to go watch that video. Basically, Keenan is a really good runner. So good that if he isn't number 1, you can't be either. Basically, he was on really good pace. Sub 4 blind, sub 5 stronghold. He was, in the end, about to kill a dragon. Would have been a 559, first ever sub 6 in ranked. Insane. Really great runner. Only problem is he dies during the 0 cycle. Let's take a look at the clip.
Putting this back to normal speed just so we can see the 0. He pushes 95. And notably, he runs out of blocks here, so he has to build this part over here with crying in like a little Tetris piece. Gets the first double bed. And that arrow just misses the dragon. And then he goes for it again. And because of the obsidian that he made here, the dragon just takes 0 damage. And he dies. Absolutely tragic.
So it just so happens that this match was against another top runner, you may have heard of him, EDCR, and he was also on PB pace, would have been a sub 630. And instead of taking the loss like a champ, Keenan decides to spam the chat, causing him to be kicked from the server, forfeiting the match, and preventing EDCR from getting a sub 630 PB. Talk about being a sore loser. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to our final segment in today's show, and that's going to be your weekly leaderboard update. So since this is the first episode, we're going to go ahead and go over the categories just to make sure you are familiar with them before we continue. So the categories are top 10 in the world on the ranked leaderboard, the phase point leaderboard, which is going to be a top 12 because the top 12 automatically qualified through to the playoffs. And then the last one will be the fastest time of the week. All right, so those are going to be the categories we're going to go over. This way, you guys know, you're always going to know. Watch the MCSR Ranked Weekly Show. You'll know who's on top, who's coming up, who's falling off, if anybody's falling off. I don't know. Let's take a look. So, coming in with our first leaderboard, the top 10 on the ranked worldwide leaderboard is going to be number 10, Beef Salad, number 9, Hacking Noises, number 8, Aquacord, number 7, Being Pigs, number 6, Nahan, number 5, big name here, Feinberg, number 4, Silver Runs, Number 3, Infume. Number 2, Doogile. And number 1, we've already talked about this guy a little bit, EDCR. So that's going to be your top 10 on the ranked leaderboard. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the top 12 on the phase point leaderboard and see who right now is qualifying for the playoffs early on in the season. Let's take a look. And I'm not going to do a full explanation on the phase point leaderboard system here, but I will put it on the screen right here so you guys can read that. Pause the video if you need to. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the top 12 on the phase point leaderboard. So number 12, Beef Salad. Number 11, Retropog. Number 10, Nahan. Number 9, Hacking Noises. Number 8, Aquacord. Number 7, Blaze Mine. Number 6, Bing Pigs. Number 5, Feinberg. Number 4, Silver Runs. Number 2, skipped number 3. Number 3, Infume. Number 2, Doogile. And lastly, number 1 is EDCR. So it is looking relatively similar to the top 10 leaderboard. That is mostly maybe because we're early on in the season, but we'll see how that progresses as we move forward. But that is, as of right now, your top 12 on the phase point leaderboard, so you know who is directly qualifying through to the playoffs. And finally, to wrap up today's episode, let's go ahead and take a look at the fastest time of this week, which is going to go to Watermelon 1708 with a time of 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Crazy quick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the splits. Watermelon entered the Nether at 1 minute and 14 seconds, entering the Bastion 6 seconds later at 1 minute 20, the Fort at 3:38, then he blinded at 3:59, entered the Stronghold at 4:52, and finally the end at 5 minutes and 32 seconds, finishing the game at 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Impressive run from Watermelon. And that brings us to the end of the first episode of the MCSR Weekly Show. But don't worry, it's not over here. We'll be back next week, and between then, we'll be live on Twitch, twitch.tv/mysticxlol. You can see me do runs, and we'll be doing more live commentaries of runs between 2 different runners, like live matches, so it's pretty cool. So head on over there. Either way, we'll see you next week.